Yes, thanks, Tim, and thanks to Share Cafe for hosting us in the Cosmos exploration. As Tim mentioned, this is a company that was spun out of Rare X late last year and has been very active with a systematic approach to exploration at our flagship project at Borrow East, targeting high-grade nickel copper PGE discoveries in that region. Next slide, please. And again. Yeah, so look, our main undertaking is the Borrow East project. It's located in Western Australia. It's basically, this is ground that Rare X picked up prior to the Julimar discovery, which has made shareholders of Chalice Mining lots of money. We picked it up, well, Rare X picked it up initially looking for rare earths, but as we looked at it harder, we became more and more evident that it's a nickel copper PGE massive sulfide play. And look, we've been actively exploring it for the last, almost 12 months now, and we're at the pointy part of preparing to drill now, which is really exciting for us. Within the company, we also have the Orange East project located near the very large Cadia mine in New South Wales, so elephant country once again. And once we've finished with Borrow this year, we will turn our attention to the Orange East project as well. So two very high potential projects within the company. We actively look at other projects, but we haven't found anything yet that beats what we're currently trying to do with both Borrow East and Orange East. Next slide, please. So here we are located on a map. As I mentioned, Borrow East in Western Australia. We're on the Western Gneiss terrain, we call that there. We've been systematically exploring, and we've just announced this morning our very exciting late to mid-time bedrock conductors. We've had 31 conductors identified. We've got about 7 priority 1 targets. We're out there ground truthing them at the moment, and we look to be drilling in October this year. As I mentioned, Orange East project there, probably the nearest project to that you may be aware of is the McPhillamys project. That's now owned by Regis Resources. That's a multi-million ounce gold deposit, and we're directly along strike from that. Next slide. So capital structure, still a very tight capital structure, and that's a result of us listing only last December. Cash 3.3, so well funded to achieve our goals this year and into early next year. Extremely tight register, only 500 shareholders. So any shareholder, any drill bit success will be quickly rewarded with share price appreciation, and we look forward to doing that in the coming months. Board and management, I'm the executive chairman. My main role is with Rare X Limited, but also spend a lot of time with Cosmos as well. Well supported with our exploration manager, Christian Hendrickson, comes from Encounter and Xstrata before that, is a very well-credentialed geologist and has done an amazing job over the last 6 to 9 months in pushing this project forward to the point where we've got some really exciting drill targets. Just recently, Matthew Friedman has joined us. He's an executive director of Dynamic Holdings Group, so a drill and blast specialist, and also very handy for getting access to drill rigs in this market. James Bain also sits on our board as our director and company secretary. You can see on this map on the right why we're attracted to this area. It's an area that has been underdone in the last 20 years. Obviously got a lot more attention since the very large Julimar discovery. So it's what we term the Western Gneiss terrain. It comes up from the southwest of Western Australia all the way into the Murchison. It's basically hugging the western side of the Yilgarn Craton, and is a very interesting part of the world to go exploring these days with the new knowledge we have about the formation of these nickel copper PGE deposits. Next slide, please. So Borrow East, here we are zooming in a bit more. These are the tenements that are in the company. Basically, we're focusing on the middle part of the package there. There's a very large intrusion called the Millimeter Intrusion, which has long been known about. That sits just to the west of our tenure. You could even say part of it extends into our tenure. But this is a very large intrusion. Major players have looked at it in the past. It has analogies to the Mount Keith deposit. But what we're looking for is massive sulfide bodies hanging off the side of this intrusion, and we're getting great success in identifying these targets at the moment. So what we've done in the last 6 to 12 months is a very extensive multi-element soil survey. This is to help us identify any geochemical anomalies that sit within our package. Ground gravity, we've done 662 stations with our ground gravity program there. And that's to help us identify the denser rocks, the mafic rocks, which will be the source of our nickel copper PGE sulfide deposits. Airborne magnetic and radiometric survey, we've done that. And also recently, just announced this morning, the results of our recently completed Vtem survey. So Vtem survey, that's an airborne electromagnetic system, and that is there to pick up any any conductive ore bodies in the bedrock. These can either be sulfides, massive sulfides, shales, but we're hoping these are nickel sulfide deposits. And next slide, please. So this is the data. This is zooming into it a bit closer. This is the middle tenure we have within our package. You can see we've defined about 31 mid to late time conductors. The mid to late time conductors are interpreted to be bedrock, so you're not talking about surface effects. We're talking about, as I mentioned, either conductive shales or massive sulfides. We're hopeful they're massive sulfides, and once again, we're hopeful they contain abundant nickel copper as well. So we've identified that we've got 31 there. We've got, probably 7 to 8 high priority targets, in areas which we will look. The blue bottle, glass wing, dotty back, they all look compelling to us, and we will get out there and ground through them in the coming days, and hopefully drilling them into October. Next slide, please. So just zooming in on one of these targets itself, this is the one that really excites us and our geophysical consultants as resource potentials. This is a coincident soil anomaly, it's coincident gravity anomaly, it's coincidence regional magnetic anomaly, and lo and behold, it has 2 EM conductors of significant length and size hanging off the side. I mean, this could be a slide that overlays a deposit pre-discovery. You wouldn't be surprised if this one turns into something for us. Obviously, the truth will be in the drill bit, but that's where we will go to next. So we're very excited by this target. We've got half a dozen other targets that look just as compelling as this, but this is the one we've talked about in our release today, and we will probably be the first one we drill with our drill program in October. Next slide. So that was our Burrow East project. We also have our Orange East projects. As I mentioned at the start, these are located in New South Wales. This is a very good package of ground here. We're also looking to acquire further ground in the area. This will be a project that we will move on to after we've been drilling our Burrow East project. Hopefully we get held up at Burrow East drilling out of discovery, but if that doesn't come to pass, we will move on to Orange East project. So what are we looking at for here? Primarily McPhillamys style gold deposits. This is a 2.3 million ounce deposit, I think found by Newmont originally and passed on to Regis, and is just in the process of becoming a mine at the moment. So this is an area that's been underdone. We're negotiating our way through access agreements at the moment. So once we've got that, we'll be on the ground, hopefully drill testing some of these targets, following up on work that was done by previous operators. We'll probably be out there around Christmas into January, February next year. Next slide. Look, this is it in more of a regional context as well, just to point out some of the other major discoveries in the area. Obviously, North Park's major copper gold producer. Cadia, I think, is now Australia's second or first largest gold producer at the very low cash costs. The recent exciting discovery by Boda, by Alkane up at Boda, a very large copper gold porphyry system as well. And also within the belt, you have some rather interesting VMS projects as well, like Lewis Ponds. So multiple styles of targets, from gold to copper gold porphyries to more base metal rich VMS targets. So a very exciting area for us to go exploring. Next slide. So the work that's previously been done here, the previous operators from which we got this company, and it was the last thrust of work in 2009 to 2010, did some soil sampling, did some IP work, and did some modelling of that IP, and a couple of drill holes as well. So you can see there's extensive soil anomalies there, extensive rock chip, outcropping, copper, gold mineralisation. The previous operators put a couple of drill holes into some IP shells, which we now interpret weren't optimal drill holes on the reprocessing of the data. So we're reprocessing all that geophysical and marrying that into our into the geochemistry as well. And that's leading us towards some more compelling drill targets. So as I said, we'll look to get out there this summer. Next slide. So look, that's Rare that's Cosmos, I should say, very quickly. What we've got is a couple of really exciting projects in the nickel, copper, gold space. Burrow East is the one you need to focus on in the short term, Orange East in the mid-term, but Burrow East, some really compelling EM coincident with our geochemistry targets, and we look forward to drilling those projects in October. So that time is coming around quickly, and we all know what can happen when you snag a nickel copper discovery. Share prices can appreciate vastly and very quickly. So thanks for listening. We're very leveraged to exploration, and we think we've got a good team on board to deliver on our exploration potential. So thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Of course, you're also CEO of Rare X. How do you manage both roles? Is the plan to bring new management into Cosmos?
Look, yes, I am the managing director of Rare X, and most of the work here is done by Christian Hendrickson. I can't take any of the glory in what's been going on, but long term, yes, this company will have its own managing director, and but at the moment we've managed to work through it quite well. As I say, Christian is the one leading the charge here, and I'm here to give the presentations and explain to the market what he's been doing. But yeah, no, we manage it quite well at this point in time.
Understood. And there's actually a question here, good question. Does Rare X have any potential to mine the Biro land for rare earths, if there's potential there?
Look, Rare X has a shareholding in Cosmos of about 30%. Rare X has no formal buyback rights or mining rights to rare earths there. We just have our exposure through the shareholding. There is rare earth potential on that ground still, although we very much see it as a nickel copper play at this point in time.
Sure. And you mentioned today's announcement. Can you give us a bit more colour for those that missed it?
Yeah, today's announcement was just around the processing of the Vtem, the airborne electromagnetic survey we've done. That was basically outlined in a few of the slides in the presentation there, but we've got some really compelling EM targets, some up to 1,600 metres long. They're basically bullseye EM magnetic targets and need to be drilled now. So we're really excited with that. With that results, even the geophysicists are really excited as well, which is always a good thing. So that's what it's about. It's about defining targets and going out to drill them now.
And is it competitive out there for resources? You spoke about someone they're securing drill rigs. How's it look out there?
Yeah, look, it is competitive. It's competitive for drill rigs. It's competitive for people. Look, it's hard getting flights in Western Australia at the moment, but look, the whole landscape is competitive. But look, we've got the people we need within Cosmos, and especially with someone like Matt Friedman on our board, we will get access to drill rigs as and when we need them. So we're in a pretty good position in that regard.
And while it's early days for Cosmos, you have got some big time neighbours. Do you anticipate any kind of M&A out there looking forward?
Oh, look, I think we'll try and make a discovery first before we go start thinking about M&A. But look, yep, I guess that is always one of the end games for an exploration resource company is to get involved in M&A. But at this point, we're just focused on exploration and finding something for which someone wants to take us over for.
And Jeremy, just finally, what are some of the kind of key milestones looking forward in terms of drilling result timeline?
Look, the key milestones from here, ultimately drilling in October, but just to finalise on processing of our airborne EM targets, which we'll do in the next 3 to 4 weeks, ground truthing some of our targets, just going through the heritage process at the moment, which will be fine. But yeah, the main short-term target is getting that drill rig out there in October and getting results back from that drill program prior to Christmas. And hopefully we can have a good Christmas on some encouraging results.
Good luck out there, Jeremy. We'll speak to you soon. Have a nice weekend. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.